speaking on your wins, I want to talk about this.
Chaos.
So, chaos.
We're back to chaos.
We're back to chaos. Talk to me about chaos. Where did the idea for chaos come from? How did you build it?
So it was very much inspired by, once again, it was kind of taking the negatives from a situation or the losses that I had and trying to like form them into something that I can make into a positive. And I kept applying to like different magazines and like, you know, I was doing like fashion photography and portraiture and stuff like that, and I kept like sending them to different magazines like Vogue, Dazed, all that kind of crack, and they just kept rejecting me, and I was like, you know, fuck that, I'm gonna make my own magazine. And then I essentially just said, yeah, I'm just gonna try and build my own magazine. And like alongside that as well, I was kind of in this period where I was just so sick of like social media and marketing myself and like making like videos that I once again just like I got to a stage where I was doing stuff for the sake of just trying to build a name. And I was like, do you know what would be cool if I just made my portfolio physical in a magazine form? So like it was kind of all those little things combined together. And it was in January 2024, I want to say, started around then. My friend Millie, she's a graphic designer. She's living in Barcelona now, but she basically helped me with, you know, the start of it. 'Cause I had no idea what I was doing at the start. I was just like, shit, how do I make, you know, take these digital pictures and make them into a physical magazine? So a lot of research, a lot of time went into it. And then I want to say September, the first launch party happened. So that was when it first came out. Then the second one came out in March. So the first one, just all my photography, complete portfolio of myself, very personal stories, kind of vulnerable in some of them. Just speaking about my experience with the photo shoots and kind of how I grew from them and all that kind of stuff. And then the second magazine, I said, okay, let's bring other people onto this. Like, let's see if other people want to be involved. Let's try build. Like, I've gone through so many stages now, and there's so many kind of talented people who are just starting off, who haven't gone through those stages. It's like, let's try and build this thing together where I guess it's just like a spotlight for creators who, and it's like any creators, like fashion designers in it. There's models, there's photographers, there's fine art. It's like you got a bit of everything. And about half of it was still my photography because I did still have a decent body of work that I wanted to showcase. And the other half was, I think it was 20 designers and 5 graphic designers. So once again, just like reaching out, just kind of like networking and just like building this little community of like people who wanted to work together and try to bring it into something physical and try bring everything together into something physical. The second launch party was in March of this year. And the third magazine, already onto the third.
Let's go.
That's coming out in...
Is this one, right?
Yeah, August 23rd. 23rd of August. Carnage is kind of the off-brand of chaos. So I've always really wanted to get into fashion. And Carnage is kind of my way of like opening up that door for me. So I'm curating a fashion show. Same concept as the magazine, where I've invited... I think it's around 20 designers, and they all have 2 models each. And basically it's just going to be a runway show of whatever they want. There's no like, you know, curation to it in a sense of like, I don't have any control over what anyone does. It's complete creative control. And that's something I really try pushing the magazine as well for the graphic designers that work on it and like all the artists and all the talent that puts content towards it. I always try push for do whatever the fuck you want. Like there is no rules. Like there's one. See, I wish I had the second one to show you these images, but there's one photographer, good friend of mine, McLean. They're situated in Berlin at the moment, and they sent me these pictures, and they said, "Are these okay to go in?" And like, it looked like a murder scene. Now, obviously, it wasn't. You know what I mean? It like, I can't even like describe it, but like, it was very much like gore, and like, you know, it's Berlin-esque, like, gore, like. A lot of nudity, and it's like, what is going on here? But I was like, shit, I'm the boss, and like, I fuck with it, so yeah, I want this in it. So I was like, yeah, no problem. He was like, okay, cool. So we kind of just went from there, and it's like trying to push that kind of like, because I know there's so many like, you know, going back to like the corporate side of it, it's like you're kind of limited, and like they want you to kind of have a certain standard and a certain box to fit in. I'm like, fuck that. Like, I just couldn't have the arse with that, and I'm like, whatever the artist thinks is of high standard and is good, that's what's going to be in it. Now, in saying that, I have rejected people because I've seen potential in people, and I want there to be a certain level of standard in the magazine, and it's not because I don't think that they're good artists. I just don't think that it either fit in at the time with the magazine or that they're not quite there yet. So obviously I always try to encourage people to keep submitting, come back, resubmit, work on your shit, come back to us. I know it can be good enough. I know it can be set to a standard where I'm happy with it. And then there's just some people who are fucking lazy and miss deadlines. And I'm like, bro, you've like 3 weeks ago, you had so much time to send it. Because like, we do the call outs like months in advance. And look, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You have your rejections, you have your acceptance. And like the third one, I think we have 40 different artists. I probably only have like 20 pages in it myself. I've had no time really to actually do the kind of photography side of my art, if that makes sense. Like I've kind of just set a lot of time into the fashion show and into the magazine and making sure that all works out. And then we have like 10 graphic designers in and around. So I'd say it'll be like, I don't know, 160 pages and I only have 20. And it's like, it's kind of nice for me that it's becoming its own entity because I can separate myself. Because at the start it was very much like, I'm the photographer, but I'm also Chaos. Whilst now it's like, I can still be a photographer in my own right. But Chaos is just kind of like, it's like my little like artistic like project child. Like it's just going off and doing its own
launching
thing.
its own self.
So
putting its own brand.
That's kind of what I'm trying to do. And yeah, it's going great.
It's incredible, honestly. Like hearing about the idea for it, and I think it's so cool to see you given. First off, it's cool to see you taking the initiative to do it yourself. And you mentioned about it too, about the splitting from the corporate and what that gives you, that creative freedom. Because what it really does is allows you to be as creative as possible. Yep. And like the only person that stops or allows things to curate in a sense of like, okay, this is allowed is you. Yep. Because you're also a creative yourself. So you understand when creatives submit what their idea is. I think the problem with corporations is that they don't understand where the creative's coming from. They have their own reasons for it, and it's a business sense, and it's like, okay, how can this fit the most kind of audiences, and where they have their reasons, but I don't think that scales. Yeah. I think in the long term, the people will decide, right? The people like us who are in the industries, who understand what it means, like literally when I saw it, I understood this is for us. Like this wasn't curated for like a campaign. This was just like creatives being creative. Yeah. And I love that. I absolutely love that, bro.
It's just art, and that's literally all it's been since the very start. And I don't think there's been a day where I've taken a day off, to be honest. Like it's every single day. Even today I was on the bus and I made a post on the page today on my way down because
that's the life. That's the life, bro.
It's just trying to, because I know the importance of doing something every single day.
100%.
Even if it's like sending one email or checking your emails or doing one little thing, and just keep the ball rolling. And the more you can keep the ball rolling, the more it'll grow.
Even for yourself too, I realized too, it's actually harder to stop when you keep going. Yeah, exactly. It's harder to stop than it is to stop and then start, because it's like, that's why I treat the podcast the same as every single day. It's obsession, because you have to understand that like, even for you to keep that part of your brain going, like sending emails or like, editing videos or like posting about it, like just keep it front of mind for people, because I know how I am. If I see something once every week or once every 3 months, I might care about that thing, but it won't be like, oh, let me go check for it. If I see like every couple of days, it starts to become part of my kind of understanding about the thing, and then you know what to look for,
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool.
Kind of like, and it is the same as like, I guess like that's what brands try to do, is just trying to like shove that in your face.
Yeah, literally.
No, I'm not shoving anything in anyone's face. Like,
you're doing it the right way.
You want to enjoy it. You know what I mean? But if I'm putting out content, and like once again, it's like it's nice because I'm giving other people a platform. It's like I rarely, in the last like 6 months or so anyway, there maybe have been like 2 or 3 shoots where I've like kind of collabed with both pages. But majority of the stuff since maybe October has just been like other people, and just try push and push and push. And like once again, it is kind of a smart way of marketing as well, because especially with like the new feature of collaborations on Instagram, is you're reaching these little audiences. One joke that me and Manny, we have this, I don't know if you've ever played, it's like a weird game that is pre-COVID, so it wouldn't be as fun to play after COVID, but it's called Plague Inc. And it's like, it's a mobile game, and it's just like you literally just like try to build like the you have like attributes, and it's like trying to build like a virus, I guess. And like, you know, you play dumb shit when you're young.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, of course.
Like, it was just so funny because we brought up the kind of the idea of like, you're kind of spreading this idea in like a pocket, and like the more pockets you spread it in, the more likely it is to kind of grow, and like
organically too.
Exactly. And like, once again, I guess it's taken like a negative and turning it into positive. Now, once again, this is
spread
like,
as many viruses as I can.
We were like 12, 13, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's so funny because we both come from very different backgrounds. So it's like the fact that he was playing it and I was also playing it, and like, and then we met together and we both used the same example. It was kind of like a weird moment for us, like the both creators kind of seeing it, and like it's a good way of looking at marketing. It's like you kind of want to throw your idea in as many different like global pockets as possible, and
absolutely
hope that they grow.
Absolutely, because one thing I've realized too is like people from all over, just all they need to do is just see the idea, and if it's organic, some people wouldn't be introduced to an idea for the first time. Is also really cool. Like they might have never heard of anything like what you're giving to them. Once they hear it, oh, okay, what is this? And then they start to get interested, and it's like it's the thread they start to pull.
Yeah, exactly.
I was wondering too, where did the idea for the name came from? What does chaos mean, and like what does it mean to you?
I think for me, I've always had a very chaotic style. I never really had one avenue that I'd go down in like all of my creative ventures, I guess. There was never really like a set thing that I would always try to do. And just like the actual lifestyle of balancing work, college, creative stuff, social life, family. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's so many things happening all the time. And I guess the name kind of did just originate from, you know, it just felt like that made sense, because when I was looking at like all the pictures I was putting together, I was like, this looks like just chaos, because like all the best pictures I've chosen from my own portfolio, you know, there could be like 10 different people taking this, and like not in like a kind of, you know, like blowing my own horn or anything, but it's just genuinely like when like I said earlier, it's like I kind of taking the picture as like the canvas, so you're kind of, or like the build, like bringing all the materials together, and then editing is like you're actually painting or putting it all together, building it all. But for me, every single project, I love making it different. Like I don't save presets, I don't like save kind of like anything that I've done in the past. It's like when I have an idea, I'll have like I know how I want it to turn out in my head. So then when I go out and take those pictures or take those videos, it's like, okay, I'm doing it for it to be like this end product. And then when I go home and I edit it, it's like I try fine tune it to be that idea that's in my head. But it always just ends up being something different, because like different people have different aesthetics, and like I just love the idea of experimenting. And when I just chaos just kind of just sounded nice. And a friend of mine, Iggy, did the logo. He's a tattoo artist, but he did the logo with a pen on the back of a receipt, and that's why it's silver, because when he scanned it, it actually, like, whatever way it's scanned, it came out like silver. I was like, how the fuck did you do that? And he's like, because he's like, he's not really like much of a tech wizard, not in a bad way, but he's a tattoo artist, so he's like, his stuff is very much like in person art. And I was like, bro, I didn't know you could like render shit like this. He was like, I just scanned the back of a receipt paper that I drew on the bus, and I was like, what the fuck, that's the coolest shit ever.
The best stories are like that, you know.
It was nuts. So then I got him to do the Carnage logo as well, and Carnage, once again, it originated from Chaos, you know what I mean? So like it made sense to call it something similar. And I always have like, I've always been like a Marvel fan, and like I love like all the Spider-Man movies and shit like that. So like Carnage has always been like a huge villain for me. Now don't sue me, Marvel, please. But I don't think they can. Fuck 'em. But like for me, like just the idea of Carnage just fit in so well. Even like the character himself, Carnage, just like it makes sense for like just everything I'm trying to do, I guess.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean? It's like try keep it all. So once again, it's like a branding thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I love it
keep
too.
all the names like similar but not too different, I guess.
Yeah, because it's cool, because it's like creative disruption almost. Like you're
exactly.
building this thing which is like, I'm gonna do my thing, and it's creating chaos or it's creating carnage, because it's me just, being as free when it comes to like creative as I can be, you know.
Exactly.
I love that. talk to me more about your process. You mentioned a little bit there about like how you take photography. So get deep into that for me. What is it? How did you build it? What is it like for you? I always had that question in my mind. Like, what do you see the others don't see? How do you interact with the camera? What is that like?
So for me, it's very much building the aesthetic first. So there's kind of two things that happen is you choose the location to suit the aesthetic. And like when I was in the kind of process of very experimental stuff and like not really making money off it and just, you know, with my friends, a lot of the time I'd style them or like, you know, I'd kind of like suggest what they could wear to suit the aesthetics and to suit the location. And then once we get there, it's very much like just free flow, just kind of see what works and just once again very experimental, just fuck around with the settings, fuck around with the lighting, fuck around because like all of the stuff or a lot of the stuff I did in the past was very much just natural lighting, no flash, nothing. Now I do use flash now because it makes a world of a difference. Once again, that's just something you learn as you go. But when I started off, it was just like, you know, natural lighting and whatever, and just trying to make what you have in front of you work and try and make it look nice. And it goes back to me with my iPhone taking pictures of things I like. It's like now I have this, once again, it's just throwing more materials into the mix. It's like I have this in front of me. It's like, how do I make this look nice? Do you know what I mean? Or like look good to me. It's like it's always comes back to, you know, the art is through my eye. So if I like it, that's all I care about. If I like how that frame looks, like you obviously always see it in like a portrait or a landscape frame. If I like how that looks, if I like the colors, if I like the way the shadows are looking, you know what I mean? And once again, it could look one way when you take the picture and then you go home and you edit it and you're like, holy shit, I can do this instead. And like there's one shoot I did with a girl called Neve. And we did a very like kind of angelic shoot. She was wearing like white dress and like lots of like jewelry and stuff like that. And it was a very simple location. It was like a tiny little corner, but it was like a kind of like a bell tower kind of thing. And what I did to kind of make it more, I don't know, like once again kind of angelic and more like spiritual looking, and like I really liked like the kind of outfit she put together, and I was like, okay, like let's try and make this like as fairy as possible. So I literally desaturated like all of the colors except for green and red because there was like trees and stuff behind her, and she was wearing like red lipstick, and then like obviously I kept a small bit of orange in for like her skin pigmentation and stuff. But that really made it like almost glow, and it's like all you could see is like black, white, and then like two, and you know, her skin colors, and like I guess 3 colors if you want to say that. And like that was something that I thought of when I was at home. It's like I didn't go into that shoot thinking, oh, I'm gonna make her look like a fairy. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna
so it develops also based on like things that fascinating.
Like when I'm finished, then it's like, oh shit, okay, now I get to post them or I get to share them. And there could be times where you want to go back and like change it, but it's like that's finished, on to the next. You know what I mean?
It's always difficult, yeah.
You kind of have to take it as like that project being done and just like moving on to the next, because otherwise you could spend years on just one thing,
just trying to make it better. Looking at when you started, what some of the things you've learned? Like what some of the say there's a photographer out there watching, wanting to like start in do it. What are some of the kind of like the basics or like the kind of like more intuitive thing that you had to learn when you start being more creative and doing your own style?
I think